Another Day, Another Horror. This one, more of a proper horror film than A Quiet Place Day One that I came to see a couple of days ago. That I'm gonna chuck more into monster movie thriller territory, but this was a horror film. It is part of a series of horror films. It is the third one. The first one being X, which came out in 2022, which I thoroughly enjoyed. That was set in 1979 in Texas, where a group are making a porn film on a rural farm in Texas, and all hell breaks loose. Very, very unexpected things happen. Lots of people die, and one person makes it out alive. I realise I've just given spoilers for X. It was out 2 years ago. I don't know if that's too soon. Okay. Then there was Pearl, which I haven't seen, which I think is a prequel, that I know is a prequel. Came out, apparently, according to IMDb, also came out in 2022. But now this is MaXXXine, and it has British actress Mia Goth reprising her role as MaXXXine. She's now known as Maxine Minx. We have fast forwarded from when we last saw her in 1979 all the way through to 1985. So she is in her early 30s and she is living in Hollywood, but she is trying to make the move from adult films to mainstream Hollywood, or at least move across into legitimate movies. And her pathway that she sees to move from porn to real movies and to join the ranks of the likes of Brooke Shields gets mentioned, Jamie Lee Curtis, she goes via the route of horror. So we find her auditioning for a new film. It's a sequel, The Puritan 2, and she gives an incredible performance in the audition. The overarching sort of story around this is that there is some sort of crazed killer stalking Hollywood, the Night Stalker. I haven't looked this up. I'm 99% sure the Night Stalker's real, and I've listened to a lot of episodes of the All Killer No Filler podcast, so if he's a real serial killer, then I've probably heard about him. I'm sure he is. But alongside that, you've got somebody who seems to be focusing his attention around Maxine and people close to her. So just as she's cast and she gets a big break in a real film that isn't porn, in this horror sequel of The Puritan 2, people around her start to die. The crimes are being investigated by two cops, played by Michelle Monaghan and Bobby Cannavale. You've also got Kevin Bacon having a lot of fun as the sleaziest southern detective who's obviously been hired by somebody to track down Maxine, but we don't know who's after her. Kevin Bacon's character is introduced as I think John DeBat is the name he gives, but he's all southern drawl, wearing the hat and the three-piece suit with the braces, or suspenders as Americans would call them, with gold teeth, and he's just really just not a nice guy, and he's obviously having quite a lot of fun playing it. Monaghan and Cannavale as the cops are really good. Mia Goth is great in the central performance in the lead role. She's got a great face. I always think to star in a horror, if you're a female horror lead, you have to have a great face. And one of my favourite films of the year so far was Immaculate, earlier this year, with Sydney Sweeney, who also has a great face. So yeah, Mia Goth's really good. And I love the 1980s setting of it. It shows like a different side to Hollywood. So you've got like, prostitution, cocaine, video stores with video nasties in, and she works like several jobs. One of them's in a peep show, as well as the adult film stuff, and it's just showing that alongside the sort of bright neon success of the 80s, you've also got this quite seedy underbelly. And I guess this is the world that Maxine's trying to get away from, but there's also part of her that's such a survivor that she will do like anything to make it out of of the industry that she's in and make that leap into, like I say, more mainstream, more acceptable stuff. So there's a mystery, there's some really, really gruesome murders, there's some great performances, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was engrossed, like I was absolutely gripped by it. It's very different to X in that, you know, it was 1970s set, but I really liked X because I liked the 1970s feel of it, because it reminded me of one of my favourite 70s horror films, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And obviously you don't make a horror film set in rural Texas without sort of giving a nod to that. And I think it captured that 70s vibe like really well. And this does exactly the same thing for 1985. You know, it doesn't go full big perms, lycra and, you know, aerobics classes, but there's that real sort of 80s, not sheen, it's not the word I'm looking for, but just like, it's got a real 80s character. And obviously we've had a lot of stuff in the last sort of 10 years that have been set in the 80s, because, you know, it's 2024. The 80s was quite some time ago now. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The ending's weird, and obviously that's not a spoiler. A friend of mine came to see it and she was like, I really liked it up until the end, and then now I haven't seen it. I know exactly what she means, and it didn't spoil my enjoyment of the film overall at all. Like, I really liked it. And yeah, it'll be one that I'll think about, you know, when I come to do my top 10 for the year. Will it make the top 10? I don't know, but it'll be close. Gonna yawn. It's always necessary to do a face hugger if you're going to yawn while you're talking about films. But yeah, it's got quite a weird ending. Other than that, big thumbs up. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. Really, really gruesome murders as well, which is always a big thumbs up from me. If you're going to do horror, do 18 certificate horror. You know, do it like you mean it. Like Immaculate earlier in the year. So yeah, it's good. Enjoyed it. Audience behave themselves. That's all I can ever ask. I had the cinema to myself when I came to see A Quiet Place the other day, so there was actual audience members in, but yeah, no one was a dick, which is always a big thumbs up, and I enjoyed the film. That is it from me. Katie out.